by myself in London at 29 years old, and let's eat an outrageous amount of cookie dough while I tell you why I did it.
And you're gonna live such a miserable life.
People complaining they've not got any money. Well, I tell you what, if you're buying this, you've got fucking more money than sense.
Living alone, it sounds great, right? Your own space, no parents, total freedom. Or is it? Let me show you the real costs from real people so you can decide if moving out is worth it for you in 2025, my friend. Or if staying put for now is the smarter decision for you. Now that I got your attention, hello my friends, my name is Vic. I'm a registered nurse and certified life coach turned personal finance strategist. And on this channel, I react to financial tips from all over the internet so you don't have to, saving you time, frustration, and hopefully you learn something along the way as well, my friend. And if you're wondering, why should I listen to this guy? Like, who is this guy? You're completely right, my friend. Let me just show you my own financial journey just for the time being so we can get to know each other a bit better. Now that we do, let's get on to the video so me and you can see just how expensive it is actually living by yourself. Let's go. Please subscribe and share.
What the fuck is going on in the UK? Childcare costs, horrendous. Car insurance, horrendous. Shopping, double horrendous. Like, everything costs a fucking fortune. Now luckily I'm in a position where I can afford it. What are people doing? Yeah, haven't got much money. What the fuck? All our bills are rising, but what if you've not got a little bit of money to make up for that bill that's increasing? Then what do? I am literally fed up with this country. I just want out. I mean, I know nowhere else is perfect, but just the cost of living is getting ridiculous. And then actually living is just poor. Like, people, I feel like people are just surviving. Every other day I am seeing people posting that they are just working to survive. They've got nothing to show for the money that they're earning. It's just a sad existence, and I'm not fucking here for it.
Now, the cost of living in the UK is literally horrendous, my friends, and anyone in the UK will definitely know this. And we're going to have a look at some of these comments in a sec just to see what people also think. Equally, my friends, before progressing, I do want you guys to understand that I have made the financial decision to actually stay and live currently with my parents. Obviously, life happens, stuff like this. Unfortunately, one of my relationships recently didn't work out, and we were planning on buying a house next year, but that's life. I don't need to get me the world's smallest violin and play it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's life, it's all right. But this doesn't mean right now that I need to be going out and going to rent or going to get a mortgage when simply in this economy is just quite difficult and it doesn't make sense for me. I personally want to put 25% down of my own money for a house. I don't want to put any less than this. Equally selfishly, I'm very thankful to my family because we live in this culture. I don't want to be going off to rent because rent is absurd as well, plus the council tax, plus the gas and electrics as well. Like, at this rate, if you were to do this, you would never be able to buy a house. So that's what I mean when I say it's a financial decision. In 2025, if you're planning on moving out or if you think that's the best decision, you have to actually run the numbers. Does it make sense for you? Rant, if you haven't heard of him, he's a very, very good money expert online. And he suggests around 25 to 30% of your monthly payments should be to your mortgage. If you can't get your monthly payments to be around that for your mortgage, then you literally should not buy a house. And this doesn't even include phantom costs, as he says, which are extra repairs and maintenance for the house. But anyway, I'm not going to get too carried away in terms of that. I just wanted to share my experience with you. Hopefully it helps you in terms of, if you think you should go out for the sake of going out, run the numbers first. Because I can move out, but it just doesn't make financial sense in my head. Anyway, my friends, I could be wrong in my notion, but this is how I think. This is my opinion. Even though it doesn't look like it, my friends, I want you guys to understand that it is a financial decision. Because some people will tell you, oh no, it's not. Well, it is. Because you could move out, but if your numbers don't reflect you moving out, or if you get a place that's more expensive, that looks nicer than what you can actually afford, then you'll find yourself in problems. Although I do agree with this woman in terms of what she's saying in terms of the cost of living, there is another point that I think in the UK is probably one of the best countries to be able to generate and build wealth because of their individual savings account, otherwise known as ISAs, especially the stocks and shares ISA, which allows you to contribute up to £20,000 completely tax-free, and it's exempt of income tax and capital gains tax. And there's self-invested personal pensions. There's a lot more other things to this, my friends. If you do want to learn more about this and you want more guidance and financial insights about this, or in terms of investing or cryptocurrency, and want to communicate with like-minded men that solely focus on generating their wealth, then I'll leave you to check down the link below, my friends, to learn more about the online communities that I run that I think could help you if you fit these categories. Let's look at some of the comments. It's because everyone voted out of the EU. I mean, I'm not necessarily like into politics, and I wouldn't say this is the only reason. I know obviously in terms of trading, the prices now will be a lot higher, but I don't think this is the only reason. Obviously though, it is politics, so I'll say nothing more. It's not living, it's surviving. Yeah, my friend, Sally 100% is. You know, you're completely right. Right now, I think the cost of living is probably the highest it's ever been. And actually, UK, Australia, and America are actually insanely high. If you look at the median price ranges, I'm going to get them up on the screen right now. For UK, so UK will go up right now, USA right now, and then Australia right now, you will see that it's incredible. You will see that it's insane. Please remember that although it's like surviving, there is substantially more opportunities now than there ever has been before. And again, I do talk a lot about this in my online communities. No, I'm not necessarily promoting it. I just really do want to help the guys that are out there that want to have more financial guidance and insights to be able to build wealth. The UK is finished. I mean, my mortgage is £2,950 a month. Country is a joke. What? Bro, your mortgage is a joke. What the hell is that? I have never heard of that mortgage. £3,000. This guy must have barely done a down payment on his house or something like that, or got like a 99% mortgage, which actually exists now. I'm fully against, of course. Oh my God, 3,000. I've never heard of a mortgage like this. That is incredible. I don't mean to pass judgment, and I'm not judging, I don't mean to be judging this person, but that is... This guy should really reevaluate his mortgage. That is crazy. Like, this is what I'm saying in terms of if you're planning on going out, that mortgage is crazy. That will literally, unless this guy's making like 12K a month, it doesn't make sense for him to have this sort of mortgage. To be honest, it doesn't make sense for him to have this sort of mortgage anyway, because even if for a big house, like for a very big house, you're probably looking like £1,500 to £2,000 mortgage, depending on your down payment. But that £3,000 mortgage, is he living in like a mansion or like the biggest house in the UK or something like this? I don't know. Just wait until January when they start taxing food. My friends in the UK, they have introduced something called a grocery tax, and we will both look at it later on in this video. It will affect big food retailers, which will affect businesses, which will affect prices, because businesses will be forced to increase their prices to cover for this tax. I do think the rising food prices will be significantly higher in the next few years because of this, which obviously does not help people like us who buy food. And rich people don't pay the right tax. The thing is, my friend, you have to think about this, right? Everyone here is against each other, right? It's a free-for-all. Even though we want to help you, even though I want to help you as well, my friend, we're low-key against someone else, right? And you need to be part of that group of people that can win. Because the reason that rich people don't have to pay taxes is because they actually have a business. And because of that business, even if it's an online business, a brick and mortar business, whatever it is, because they have a business, they legally can deduct their taxes with their business. Whereas when you're employed, you can't do that. We can't do that, right? But there are investment vehicles like stocks and shares ISAs, like lifetime ISAs. There's many different tax wrappers that you can actually utilize to your advantage and actually have a significantly better chance at becoming wealthy and actually becoming financially free in yourself, because you don't need to make millions a year to be financially free. You just need to cover your living expenses with the amount of money you're earning and then have maybe like £1,000 or two left over just to do whatever you want, right? That, in my eyes anyway, is a rich lifestyle. And no one really is too far away from it if you really think about it. I obviously completely disagree with tax evasion, but I do think most of the rich people that actually have these businesses do not avoid tax. And most of them I do actually praise and I look up to, because I do actually think that they understand the game really, really well. Because actually, if you look at it, what they actually do it legally, but it's just not the easiest thing, and it's quite hard. This is taking way longer than I thought. Let's just look at the next video.
I live by myself in London at 29 years old, and let's eat an outrageous amount of cookie dough while I tell you why I did it. First off, we gotta add salt. Always gotta add flakes of sea salt to chocolate. It wasn't my first option to live by myself, because obviously I would have rathered that my relationship with my ex of 6 years worked out, but it didn't. So when I knew that things weren't gonna work out, I basically had, I think, about 3 options. Firstly, I could have stayed in the flat that we were already in, because it was a 2-bed flat. and I could have, you know, found someone to rent out the second bedroom and lived with a stranger. My second option would have been to move out into a stranger's house. And my third was to find a place by myself.
Two things have changed since the last time I talked, my friend, so let me know down in the comments below if you know what they were, so I know you've been paying attention. But now in relation to this clip, so although there was those three options that she's saying, like, I do understand, but it literally, in my opinion, goes back to the point that I have mentioned in the beginning of the video. Although of course I understand some people don't want to necessarily be staying with their parents, I do personally think it is a financial decision, and I'm not preaching that because I understand the stereotypes and how it looks. It's not obviously the best thing, especially when you have a partner. You want to have your own time, right? Your own private time. And I do get that fully. But equally, my friends, if your finances are not set under this framework, now I have a specific framework that I've actually put in my online community, but I'll share it with you now. It's called the EISF framework, random name, I know, but it just stands for the essential fixed costs, your investing costs, saving costs, and your fund money spending at the end, EISF. The thing is with those proportions, I personally, for me, I like keeping those percentages with the essential cost being 50%, the investing and saving cost being 20%, and fund money spending being 10%. This is of my disposable income. And I personally feel, as I have mentioned before, like with Rant, your mortgage or whatever you're really paying on a house per month should not exceed 25 to 30% really of your monthly disposable income, right? And that's just for the house. Obviously, you can have other things as well, but remember that overall, your essential fixed costs, in my opinion, I try and keep mine to around 50%. Therefore, right now, I know that it's not financially a good decision for me to move out, because if I did, I understand that my essential costs, including the housing costs, will be over 50%. So it just doesn't make sense for me because it would jeopardize my savings and investing and also fund money spending. Now, I understand people say live frugally and stuff like this, but the thing is like you can live frugally and still make a life for yourself, still enjoy life, right? As long as you have a plan. And I feel right now, as of this moment, renting is sky high. And even though, for example, it's affordable for me, it literally would prevent me from having as much savings or investing as I would like. And I understand it seems selfish, my friend, I do get it, but this is what I'm saying. We are living in exceptionally difficult times right now. This woman here in this video, she's spending 60% of her income. As in, this is the way I see it, at least. Obviously, you need to make a living for yourself, and you need to make it work and get a good job and make good money. But if you force yourself out too early, it could actually really backfire on you. It could accrue that compound interest like on a credit card, but just instead of it being on a credit card, it's the credit of life. Or in this case, like the debt of life. And especially with cultures like mine in Eastern European, it's very normal to be staying later on until they're financially okay. I just think, especially right now in these times, this stereotype really needs to be broken, because I do feel it's putting a lot of people under a lot of pressure. And I understand that, because it definitely can be that way. But if you don't fit those criteria I was talking to you about, especially the top one, which is the essential fixed costs, and as Rant was saying, 25 to 30% of your disposable income being able to be contributed towards your mortgage or your rent, and on top of that, your other essential fixed costs, all of that need to make the 50%. If it's more than 50%, it will be very, very difficult. If you could keep it under 50%, fantastic. But if it's over 50%, for me personally, I'm not saying or recommending anything to you, but I'm saying for me personally, I feel it's like falling into a trap. And I do understand you make a life for yourself when you're by yourself, and then you can make a lot of money, but the story doesn't always go like that, you know. You do hear of these people that go out and live by themselves, and then they do all these wonderful things and make a lot of money, but that's literally, I'm sure it's not 90+% of people will accrue massive credit cards debts because they have to have money to be able to pay for bills, and then they have to pay off that credit card debt, and they'll just struggle. And I'm not saying right now you should all stay at home. I'm not saying this. You need to fact check your numbers to actually make sure that you are okay in terms of these categories, because you shouldn't be slacking those savings and those investings. In my opinion, especially investing, that is the number one thing. Because some of the money in my investment is literally my retirement. So that is super, super important. So if I miss any payments, and the reason I say investing cost is because to me it's like a cost. It's like literally like a tax almost. Like every single month I have to put it there, right? Because it's for my future retirement. It's for me. So if I miss a month, that accrued compound interest during the 30, 40 years from now would be a significant amount, massive amount. So this is sort of how I've changed my own mindset. So I hope that makes sense to you, my friends. We're not going to look at some of the comments just because we are literally running so late with this video, and we still have more videos to go over. So let's go over to the next video, my friends. I think you really like this one.
What in the cost of living crisis, broken Britain, bar humbug Christmas is this bullshit? Now, I've done a few of these videos. This one might be the best so far. People complaining they've not got any money. Well, I tell you what, if you're buying this, you've got fucking more money than sense. Even if you have got something like an IQ of 160. So I went a bit of Christmas shopping today, went into a new Marks and Spencer's that's opened up not far away from where I am. Beautiful, it's absolutely enormous. Went to the food court. As I'm just walking along, I turn to the right and I see a fridge. And in the fridge are some pies. Yes, pies. Pastry, meat, veg. You will not believe the fucking price of these pies. Admittedly, one of them was a steak pie, a Wagyu steak, whatever that is. Looks like there's more fat than meat in it to me. And one of them was a chicken pie. Let me show you the price, but before I do, you've got to comment right now how much you think they were. Now, these were big pies that feed a family of, I don't know, 5 or 6 people. But it was a pie, nonetheless. Here goes.
My friends, I'm not even going to say anything. Let's just look at the comments, because I did guess the price. And I, by the way, was taking the piss. I said like £20, thinking, nah, there's no way. 45, 50 pounds. Let's just look at the comments. I thought, okay, it's going to be something outrageous like £16. Literally the same. Quality is not cheap. You want cheap, go to Aldi. My friend, quality isn't cheap, but quality does not mean taking the piss. Like, you can't overprice something if you don't feel it gives you a good exchange of value for what you're paying. 45, 50 pounds is literally the amount of an actual grocery shop for a single person. Now, I would say I have done that before, especially by myself, and it's absolutely fine. Even with the amount of protein I need to intake every single week. I bought one last week. They're so nice, worth every penny. This guy, Reese, please, you know you're joking, mate. Like, come on. Like, come on. Anyone remember Frey Bentos? Back in the day, they were 99p. I actually have never heard, I've never even seen Frey Bentos. If you know what they are, please comment below, because I actually have zero idea. £50 is absolutely disgusting. Even if I was a multi-millionaire, I wouldn't pay that. To be honest, 100% agree. Genuinely, there's no need to waste money. I'll tell you a very, very quick story. It's about these things called Veblen goods, right? So for example, like the Rolex and the Ferrari, Lamborghini, they're forms of Veblen goods. That pie, no way in hell is it worth £50. And I would say you can't really do Veblen goods with food, of course, because it's food. We can all eat a pie that is similar to this pie for literally a tenth of the price, or even worst case scenario, a fifth of the price, right? I'm sure we can all agree on this. I understand why actually they sold, because the price is so high. People think, oh, because of the higher price, it's higher quality. And the thing is, you will literally psychologically trick yourself into thinking it's better because of the higher price. This is an actual real phenomenon, by the way, genuinely. But I think for food, for any other like materialistic things like cars and watches, stuff like that, I guess it makes sense if you can add some sort of certain value, fair enough, and you could provide the scarcity, which obviously like Rolex does exceptionally well, which is why they're so expensive. But even with Rolex, like they do the exact same function as other watches, right? Like I love G-Shock, literally my G-Shock here looks very cool. I love it, looks awesome. It was nowhere near the price of a Rolex. With a pie, you don't need to pay double, triple, quadruple the price more for it to taste good. Although in some people, it may taste better in their taste buds for whatever reason. In my taste buds, yeah, for me, there's just no way no one can convince me to buy this pie, even if it was the best pie in the world. Unless you can make this pie golden, then maybe it may be worth 50 quid. But it's not golden. It's just your grandma's homemade pie. Anyway, my friends, we're spending too long talking about these pies, so let's just move on to the next video.
Food shopping in 2025 is about to get £56 more expensive thanks to the new grocery tax. Grocery tax is a new green tax that businesses now have to pay for the materials used in their packaging for their products. Labour has estimated that this will generate £1.4 billion into their government for their net zero plan. British Retail Consortium, however, believes that this is a low estimate and the true impact is going to be more like £2 billion. The government themselves have estimated that somewhere between 85 and 100% of this tax is going to be pushed on to consumers, the likes of you and me doing our food shop. Little known legislation has been rushed through Parliament and approved and will start on the 1st of January. Government have admitted that this will increase inflation, has been accused of putting a new burden on businesses as well as increasing every family's food costs. Now you've heard the story, what do you make of the fact that there is a new grocery tax coming into place in the 1st of January that could see your food bill in 2025 going up by £56?
Now, my friends, this is what I was talking to you about, this grocery tax. Now, make sure you listen because this is important. And I really do feel actually it can very significantly influence inflation, especially from this year onwards. I understand the effectiveness of it to make the world a better place, make businesses operate in a more eco-friendly way, make packaging better, and businesses under the extended producer responsibility scheme, which a new scheme started this year. There have been versions like it before, but it's initially started like as of whatever the scheme is now. It's the new version started from the 1st of January. And the reason this is important to you, my friends, that you know, the fact that there is a grocery tax for businesses now will mean that there will be additional costs incurred into the prices. They can actually increase their price, and they will definitely. You will see big food retailers, my friends, sell at a higher price. And I feel this will directly impact us as consumers, because when you go to buy your food, it will be at a higher price. And that contributes to inflation being higher as well. So my friends, again, I do feel right now, because of all of this stuff happening and prices will constantly be increasing, you need to know what to do with your money and to grow your money. So again, if you do feel that you want to be part of a community of like-minded men, and you have an ambition in finance but don't want to do it yourself, and you want to be around men that actually do this all the time, I do encourage you, my friend, to learn more in the links below. I really do feel it can help you. Please remember, my friends, the online communities that I have formed are still in beta testing, so they're very, very new. And I would appreciate any feedback that you have when using the community, my friends, so I can make it as best possible for you guys as well. I have made it so there is a 7-day free trial, my friends, so if you don't like it, you can cancel at any time, at no risk to you. But if you don't feel it's a good fit for you, my friend, please don't join. And of course, my friends, as I've said before, the only reason I've made my online community for men and not for women is just because I feel there's a lot of female empowerment and female finance groups online. I don't feel there is enough for men. Let's have a look at someone's expenses that actually lives in the UK. And when I saw this, it actually really shocked me. Have a look. Now this is incredible, my friends, and this is literally why I feel it's incredibly difficult for anyone to live by themselves in the UK. I feel if you had a partner or if you had a roommate, as long as you were living with at least another person, it can be affordable. But if you're by yourself, exceptionally difficult, my friends, because this is, in my opinion, this is actually a generous. In my opinion, this is actually generous. I'm not sure exactly what they're spending £300 shopping a month for. I'd say that's a bit too much. And the car insurance of £180 looks like quite a lot to me. But regardless of this stuff, I would say every other metric looks roughly what I would potentially expect. Obviously, there are some that I don't think they should be that much. Like, I don't know what they mean by tax, and you could definitely get better prices for gas and electrics and water than what they're paying. But my friends, this is on a salary of £2,800 as well, which I would say actually is a very decent salary. Very, very decent salary. It's above average anyway in the UK. It's a very decent salary per month of disposable income. Let's have a look at the comments and what people have to say. £800 a month rent. That's if you live in a shoebox. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. I was actually very surprised by this as well, because that £800 rent, unless you're living up north, I have not seen any £800 around the area I live in. I've not seen any £800 rent at all. If you're living in Hampshire, Surrey, or West Sussex, something like this, you're not going to be seeing any £800. The average is like 1,000, 1,200 for rent. It's crazy. So yeah, I fully agree with that. £800 I would say is an absolute steal if you can find one. And that is a steal. Ridiculous. But anyway, no one can earn £2,800 in UK in a month. Well, I mean, obviously that's not true, my friends. There are substantially, I think, less people that earn that amount per month. And 2,800 is above average. Not everyone can earn that. I think actually you'd be in round about the top 20, maybe even top 15% of people in the UK. So that's obviously, if you are, congratulations. And if you're not, actually it really doesn't matter, my friends. Like, you don't need to worry, because it all depends on what you do with your money outside of it. Like with the framework I was talking to you about, the EISF, it all depends on your essential costs, the investing costs, the savings, and your fun money spending, and just mixing around those percentages to your liking in terms of how you enjoy living life. The issue is that with these expenses, like the savings for this person, I calculated it and it's actually true. This person on this video is actually saving £20 a month. That's the saving. That's not even investing, my friend. Obviously, you can cut down on some of the bills that they've got here, but even with that, they'd probably be able to gain an additional few £100 extra for them a month, which would be better than nothing, definitely. But I would say still, even in the UK, it's just still not enough. But you could definitely make better financial decisions and definitely make more money than someone that's actually making more money than you if you make better money decisions, and if you have better spending habits and better investing decisions as well, my friend. Start business in UK. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I want to be able to help you guys out and get smarter with money, of course, as well. That is the main reason, but it's also, for full transparency, it's also as an extra side income as well. So I'm able to understand it, and then later on down the line, my plan is to be able to help you to do the same thing and build your own online communities as well. But that is later on down the line, not now. It's all free if you come here on a boat though. I'm pretty sure even if you park your boat, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, like to actually like park your boat and keep it there, I'm pretty sure you'd actually have to pay like boat parking or like some form of tax. I'm sure they'll think of something, and especially in the UK, you'll get taxed for even breathing air. Gas and electricity bill is a bit far from the truth, I would agree. But yeah, overall, much closer to reality, man. I earn about £4,000 a month, wow, but still not enough for a good life, man. Yeah, I mean, I do think this Tanny guy, I mean, I personally, like, if you were making, I don't know if this £4,000 pre-tax, if it's after tax, if it's post-tax, and that's your disposable income, in my opinion, I do definitely feel you're doing something wrong, Tanny. £4,000 after tax is definitely more than enough to be able to live a good life, my friend. So I'm not really sure what you're doing wrong there. You're winning if you can save £20. I mean, I understand like how people think. I think it's just saving annoys me, because after you build, I think you should save to build up an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. After you do that though, I would say 6 months for me personally. I'd prefer 6 months to be even safer, because I'm risk averse. Even if you guys don't believe it, I genuinely am. But friends, this is my opinion, what I would do, and also what I have done, because I practice everything that I preach to you guys and everything I talk about on this channel. I would build the 6 month emergency fund first of all. So whatever your monthly expenses are, multiply that by 6, and then that's your 6 months emergency fund covered to be able to last you 6 months of expenses if you lose your job or there's a life crisis or something happening in your life. That will be more than enough time, hopefully, for you to get back up on your feet. The moment that you have that emergency fund, my friend, literally just start and automate your investments every single month to go into investment vehicles to generate you more money, so you can grow your wealth. And if you really wanted, you can even automate your investments if you know what funds, etc., to go in. And then it literally is like a direct debit coming out of your account every single month, and your money grows on autopilot. The laziest investors literally win, and they normally outperform even the best hedge fund managers in the UK or even people on Wall Street. Because to win in investing, you don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to try and keep beating the market. Anyway, my friends, that's for a different video. And I talk a lot about this in my premium community as well, my friend. So if it does interest you, have a look in the link below. But I'm not against saving, my friends. I don't want you to think that I am. It's just that I'm against saving more than you need to, because by leaving your money in a savings account, you're literally losing purchasing power every single year. And your money actually depreciates because of inflation every single year. It's like an invisible robbery, because whatever your money's worth, let's say you have £1,000, but let's say inflation for whatever reason is 10%, right, in the year, that means that £1,000 that's left in your savings account is actually now worth £900 after the 10% inflation, because this accumulates and it compounds the same way like your investments can compound, the same way inflation compounds. So the longer you leave your money in the savings account, because it generates such low interest compared to inflation, you lose money over time. And it's literally, the way I see it, is like an invisible robbery. So that's personally why I believe that you shouldn't save more than you need to, my friends, and develop the better financial understanding of investing. And if you want more professional help for investing decisions, etc., then by all means consult a professional financial advisor or investment advisor, my friends, as well. Now this next video is another example of the monthly expenses, but it's up north. So let's have a look, because I feel this will be very interesting to compared to this video, which was more clearly see a difference here, my friend. Although this is, remember, overall just for the house, although I'm pretty certain this person is in a leasehold because they're paying service charge and ground rent, so she must be in a leasehold. But regardless of this, everything that she's paying, I'd say, is a pretty damn good price, especially in Manchester. Even if you're up north, this is a pretty good price. Because if you think about the essential fixed cost that I was telling you about, that you should really aim for, always set your essential fixed costs, so your subscriptions, your rents, your service charges, your ground rent, whatever you have, all of these important monthly expenses that need to come out of your account. If you think about it, she would be very close to 50% of her income, even if she was on like an average salary of £2,000, let's say, because this is already £700-800 just for the flat, and then you'd have between £200 to £400 left over for food, car insurance, anything like that. So she may be a bit over still, but with a £2,000 to £2,200 monthly disposable income, she should be all right and have money left over to save and invest the other 20% and still have some fun money left over as well. Definitely more affordable than the other example that we saw, although that person was on a £2,800 disposable income. So with that income on this, it'll be absolutely fine. Let's read some of the comments. You're living for free, so lucky. I mean, to be honest, you're not living for free, obviously, but in the UK, this literally at the moment, right now in this economy and the cost of living, it literally feels like you are living for free. Can I be your boyfriend? How is your mortgage so low? Now with this one, my friend, her mortgage is probably really low because she's paid at least 20% down payment for her mortgage. I'm absolutely certain of this. Oh, not certain because obviously I don't know, but I'm pretty confident of this. And she probably has a decent repayment period with it as well, because that is a really low mortgage, to be honest, per month. Because houses up north are approximately like 200 to 220,000. Even some houses can go as down really as much as like 150,000, to be honest. So it's just between, it's a big range, but it's around there. So she must have paid a big down payment. Ah, perfect. Look, literally I scrolled down and I saw this comment. So I put down more than 20% as a deposit and 35-year mortgage repayment period with a good interest rate as well, which is great. And flat was more affordable than it is in other parts of the country, of course. Yeah, that's a really good deal. And yeah, of course, yeah, 20% down at least. Yeah, like I said, it just literally makes sense because that, for me personally, that's what I want to do as well. 25% if I can, really, just to be able to get better monthly payments and also to pay less interest in total, because the more money you're able to put in, less interest you'll be paying over time as well. And something I've learned from my dad, plus something I've learned from a mentor that I know that actually has a multi-million-pound portfolio and has a resort across countries. I'm not going to say where, but she was telling me that it's actually always good to overpay your mortgage because it really saves your interest payments across the long term, and it really, really does. It's like even with investing, the longer you leave something, the bigger interest it can accrue for you to grow. However, in terms of housing in this situation, it's the same for the mortgage. And with a mortgage company that you get the mortgage with, because they actually get more money from you because of the interest. So it's literally the same thing for them, like with you investing. If you leave something over time, you're going to be paying them more interest. So you obviously want to be doing the best thing for yourself, having a decent down payment of 20-25% and overpaying your mortgage by the 10% per year that you're allowed to do. And by doing that, you will literally not only be paying off your mortgage significantly quicker, but you'll be saving on those interest payments. You'll be saving on paying significantly less in your interest payments by the end of the mortgage. All right, my friends, I've saved the best for last. This is probably the best video I found in terms of living home alone and seeing the difficulties of actually living alone. So let's watch it. And if you have any further video suggestions for me to do, please comment them down below so I can see them and do them for you.
As someone who lives alone, I've learned to become quite stingy with my money. I know where to try and cut corners, and I know how to try and save, because every single penny counts. You've got to pay for all your bills. If anything breaks, you've got to pay for it yourself. Obviously, you know that already, but you've got to learn things. Now, as someone in their 20s, I've only been doing this for a couple of years. Like, I graduated from uni, moved away, I don't live with my parents, so I'm still learning things as I go. It's tough. Like, at the end of each month, I don't always have a lot of money left. I don't own a car. I live in a relatively nice area. I live in the north, though, where rent is considerably cheaper. Like, my flat is big enough for me, and thankfully, because it's in the north, it's cheap. I shop at Aldi, I shop at charity shops, I go on Vinted. I don't really go out too much unless it's out with my girlfriend, and it is tough. It is tough. Like, I do want to splurge and treat myself sometimes, but I can't always do that, and you feel like you're doing something wrong, but you're not. So I get it, it's tough. As someone who lives alone.
So I hope, my friends, that this video made you feel good, because this is literally how it is. And I wanted to show you this video because even if you are struggling, my friends, you're probably not doing things wrong. It's just that it is tough. And anyone that does genuinely live by themselves, just own your decision. And it's a decision you've made. I'm sure that there's a good reason behind it. Do you get what I mean? There's not something like as a bad decision. Like, my decision's for myself and your decision's for you. So there's not really any wrong answer, my friend. That's what I wanted to show you with this person, because some people value more time by themselves. You know, some people want to do that more, and that's absolutely fine. But this guy honestly looks like a real nice guy, and I'm sure a lot of you guys that have seen this can relate to him, which is why I wanted to show you this. And again, this guy is living up north. Rent is significantly cheaper up north compared to here, definitely. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this, my friends, because I don't want you to think that you're doing necessarily anything wrong. Obviously, I would incorporate, I don't know if this guy is or not, obviously, but like I say, again, the EISF framework that I've been talking about in this video, the one that I personally use and have constructed myself, again, just as a reminder, is the E is the essential fixed costs, I is investing costs, S is saving costs, and then the F is the fun money spending. So it's like all of these things are very, very important, my friends. Do you get what I mean? And it's very good to work with percentages rather than actual figures, because your percentage, doesn't matter what your figure are, it's a percentage of that figure. Do you get what I mean? So it's not like you have to be like, oh, I'm going to put £400 to invest. Like, what if you earn a bit less or a bit more this month? Do you get what I mean? You could put either less or more. So it doesn't really, like, that's why it's better to work with percentages, in my opinion. And that's personally what I do for myself. I'm not advising that you do, but this is personally what works really, really well for me. And real talk, my friends, something that I haven't personally done is have fun, to be honest. And that's why that fun money spending that I wanted to incorporate this as well, because you do need to have that fun. You know, it is important to have that fun, because psychologically as a human, you want to enjoy life as well as becoming rich, as well as becoming wealthy, as well as progressing in your career and living and enjoying life. You know, you want to progress as a human. We need to have that sense of progression, but you also want to have fun, because then it's sort of like, I'm doing all this work and for what reason? I'm not having fun. You know, I do understand some people are more hardcore, but anyway, it depends on you, my friend. If you're more hardcore and you don't need fun money spending, by all means put more into investing. The more the merrier. And if you want to just be in the house locked up all day, my friends, it's completely up to you. It's whatever makes you happy. Do you get what I mean? Now let's look at some of these comments, because I think they're very interesting. Life has always been tough, but it's generally easier now. Yep, easier snowflakes than it has ever been. We're generally wealthier through progression on this CC 2009. I'm not actually going to disagree with this person, because I think it's definitely harder in terms of cost of living, as we've seen through this video. It's definitely harder through cost of living. It's almost near enough impossible in the UK. However, we do have the opportunities that our grandparents and parents have never had before. We've got investment vehicles and tax wrappers now that we've never had before. There's cryptocurrencies, there's literally ISAs everywhere, especially in the UK. I'd say you actually get the best of that. You know what my opinion on this, my friends, compared to the USA and Australia and other parts of the world. Plus we have self-invested personal pensions. I mean, there's so many different things that if you understand and know how to play the game, and it just gets me excited talking about it, because it is genuinely, in my opinion, a really exciting time. Despite the cost of living crisis, true, but it's never been a better time than, if you know what to do with your money, it's never been a better time to actually become wealthy and to be able to generate generational wealth in the future for your future family and for your future grandkids, etc., etc. Even for your own kids currently that you may have right now or will have in the future. I'm even thinking about my own kids. Do you get what I mean? I don't have any at the moment, but like my future kids. And I can already tell that I know, and as absurd as it sounds, I'm confident that they will be millionaires and multimillionaires by the time that they're in retirement, because of the strategies and actions that I've understood and learned to take place in. Obviously, I understand this sounds abysmal, and I understand this sounds crazy, but this is truthfully like what I believe, because I understand what I need to do and how to do it. But of course, my friends, we can't go into the future and for me to tell you, oh, I'm right or I'm wrong. Do you get what I mean? Like, that just doesn't happen. There's no time machine. I wish there was, but we do have the previous 100 years of results from the stock market, results from what's happened so far. So history always tends to rhyme as well. So I'm definitely confident in my decision making with this. But of course, with investing, there's always a form of risk. Nothing is ever guaranteed. And if you definitely feel that you don't know or you want more professional help, by all means, you can consult a professional financial advisor or investment advisor, because at the end of the day, I want you to feel comfortable and feel like you're talking with someone that you trust. Our next comment. I earn a lot, but I'm abysmal with money. So I'm basically poor, but with zero excuse to be. All right. This is exactly the reason why I've made my online communities, because especially with men, I have realized this, especially from everyone that I've spoken to and everyone that I hear talk about money, especially men, because obviously my target audience is men. I do feel there is like a growing pandemic of, I feel, male competence in finance, in investing, in growing their money, in building wealth in general. And because of that, I feel they'll really suffer on later on, not be able to generate wealth or give their kids the best life, or even their future families the best life that they possibly can, or even feel financially free and stress-free themselves, which is literally the main reasons why, again, I made my online communities, to help men get smarter with their money for these reasons. There's obviously more reasons to this, but these are some of the main ones. I fully understand this guy, because honestly, some people do make a lot, and I genuinely can't even fathom how some people make that much and are still not feeling financially free in themselves and just being able to enjoy life whilst growing their money and making so much money passively on the side through investing for their retirement or for buying a house or whatever it's for. But I personally believe in long-term investing, so you really shouldn't touch it, because you need to allow compound interest to accrue over time. Again, my friends, remember that money loves speed, but wealth loves time. To truly become wealthy, you need to allow a lot of time to compound for you and to work for you instead of against you, my friends. And the only way you can do that is by starting as soon as possible. If you're not sure where to start, my friends, again, this is the reason why I've started my online communities, to guide you. Not make decisions or recommendations for you, but to provide you financial insights and guidance so you feel like you have someone with you along your own wealth journey, my friends. I bulk cook and freeze, so I always have meals. Really good idea. Takes a lot of time, but really good idea, to be honest, especially if you live alone. I've lived alone for around 15 years now. Oh, wow. My friend, you need a partner. No, I'm joking. Kidding, joke. Keeping living costs low is important, regardless of when my earnings go up. I personally choose to sacrifice holidays and eating out, etc., so I can save a half. Maybe I'm being an idiot, but I don't know what she means by half, but I'm assuming, yeah, maybe half her income or something like this, I don't know. But definitely the sacrifice just depends on you. I personally used to actually be this person, I would say. And for me personally, I wouldn't not necessarily go on holidays and stuff like this by myself because I just don't feel there's any point. But I do feel, especially when you date or with your girlfriend, etc., I do feel that it actually does make sense to go out even though you're spending money, because you're actually emotionally investing into that person. You're actually investing into a relationship. So, and I do feel that is equally as important as investing, because obviously life with someone that you trust and love is obviously an incredible life compared to a life without, in deprivation of those things. But this is my opinion anyway. Thanks, Luke, for being so honest. I just started living on my own, so it's so bloody tough, from money management to doing everything on your own. I always think I'm doing something wrong. This is the thing, my friends, and I'm sure that a lot of you will be thinking this. It's all growth, it's all opportunities for you guys to become better and just learn consistently. So yeah, like, cost of living is exceptionally difficult in 2025, my friends, as we've seen in this video. But regardless, my friends, there are so many opportunities to grow your wealth. Again, generate generational wealth for yourself, for your future family, for your current family, for whoever. But regardless, my friends, we can't ignore the fact that we have more opportunities than our grandparents, parents, than everyone. We really have significant amounts of opportunities right now. And look, you can even see I've got a tear here. I'm crying because I'm so happy and excited. Joking, I just drank a Coke. But regardless, my friends, I do hope that this video really showed you how cost of living was and all the ridiculous things that are happening currently in the UK. I will make other videos like on US and etc. stuff like this, but obviously I understand UK the best because I am from the UK myself. There will be 2 videos here that you're going to see that YouTube recommends that you watch next, my friend. I'll leave you to click one of them and I'll see you in that video, my friend.